And wow, what is this? Oh my god. Here we've got some skull. Okay. So I'll just leave that here for now. Or actually, let's put it somewhere to the side. So yeah, it's pretty wild here. Not sure what happened there. Okay. And here for the rows, so we have the fruit trees. And over there, the next fruit tree. And between them, I'm planting rows with, sacrifice plants, I'd say, which I just need for accumulating biomass and stabilizing those key lines. So honestly, I'm not even sure what all species are, because what I like to do is I take the species I put into the system of the forest garden from the lines outside the property. So that's something I started right up in 2017 when we first came here, before I really got deep into permaculture. I kind of picked up some concepts which are connected to permaculture, and also taught myself concepts, or found them by myself, which I later found out actually are permaculture practices. And one of the first ones I found was the Hecke, the dead wood hedge. And this led to me just leaving the outside lines of the property wild. And so now I have a huge selection of wild plants on the edges, which stop the wind, especially here on the west side where most winds come from. And also I can take the young plants from there and put them into the forest garden. And you see the old people who, basically Joanna's grandfather, great-grandfather, they did a pretty good job. So what they did up here a bit less, but further down on the property, they always left a tree line to the west side to stop the winds. So that's another one of those points where permaculture does a really great job at just collecting all those great practices which are already out there. So it's old practices our great-great-grandfathers already knew about and used, but we just lost them. And permaculture, I see permaculture as a collection of these practices, while also updating them and verifying them with scientific data and new findings we have nowadays. For me it's a perfect approach to design your spaces in a way that's sustainable and super effective. And this is just one of those examples which I love. So let's take a look a bit closer. So I didn't maintain it really. The only thing I did over the years is add some biomass when I was cutting old fruit trees or taking out trees I don't want in the system anymore. And you see, this is a nice spot for small creatures to take refuge. It helps the biodiversity, which is pretty amazing anyway, but it helps it even more. And also it's protection for all kinds of shrubs that are growing here. And in between the shrubs also some trees are coming. So I'm creating this natural border that already exists on the other edges of the property further down. And this is the nearly the upmost spot of our permaculture site, and it gives an amazing overview. And if you just walk a bit further up here, then you'll be on the cow meadow. So somewhere there, that's already the peak. Up there it is. And if you reach this point, you'll have an amazing view on the Arias Valley, which is the main valley down there. below the Bedelew mountain. And yeah, something less nice, let's zoom in on that, which spring brings with it, is, yeah, maybe you can see it, these black spots on the hill we call the Pyramid, that's this one, and also the one next to it are the wildfires. Yeah, what should I say about them without hurting anyone's feelings here? So it's still a practice here to burn everything you have in the garden in the spring cleanup. And it has its sense, you know, you want to avoid fungi from getting on your plants of the coming season. And people here rely on the food they grow. So I do have more understanding for it than I had in the first years when I came here, where I was just super annoyed by it. But I think, yeah, there are better ways to do it, obviously, and in permaculture we do that. So yeah, I'm really trying also to involve the community here, and by also having a garden down in the valley, which is more focused on food production while still using sustainable techniques, maybe I can slowly put some, give a good example of a way of managing this situation. But it's a long process. So here again the forest garden comes in handy, really teaching us humans to think in slower and longer terms than just in days and weeks and even years. Nature is slow but super powerful. Let's keep that in mind and enjoy this power of nature in spring. These are the old fruit trees. If you have an estimation of how old you think they are, please write it in the comments. I don't know. Here you see things that really hurt someone who knows a bit about pruning and trees. This kind of cut will kill at least this part of the tree. And I'm not sure if this tree ever enjoyed professional pruning. And to be honest, also I didn't put the time into bringing them back to life as I probably should. I have to say, however, I don't want to really do anything major with them before I'm really sure what I'm doing, because although they weren't tended to properly, they still produce amazingly well. And I'm just getting started with tree pruning. So I started my journey 3 years ago, but that's still, considering that I'm not putting a lot of time into it, and just during winter I can really learn more. I can already tell there's some pretty obvious mistakes here. So I won't go into detail here, but just having this bow going down, that's something you shouldn't have. Then the cuts that were made also here, that's just horrible. So huge wound here. It's amazing this part of the tree is still alive. But as I said, they still have a nice harvest every year. So I'm not touching them too much. Yeah, you see, I tried to install some benches here and there. There's another one, just to give spots where people are invited to sit down and enjoy this. This is another project which wasn't realized so far, just, no time, too little money, or too much focus on other projects. It will at some point, hopefully, be a wooden platform with another great view down. And I wasn't completely right when I said the quince are the only trees that are already higher than I am in the food forest. So here, those are apples I actually just planted beginning of last year, but I changed the pepiniera, the place I get my trees from, and yeah, it was already bigger when I bought it, and already in the first year it had great growth, very healthy. Maybe also because the spot here is considerably better than the other one. The other one is a lot steeper, the soil is not as fertile, so I guess that also helped. But also the provider of the trees is, probably a bit better, and I'll stick with him. Here you can see there was some nibbling by deer. Pretty sure it's deer because up here they couldn't reach it. Yeah, I could of course protect them, and probably I'll do that in the future if it continues. But since this is a food forest and I will be planting a lot more trees around it, and there already are others around, which were also nibbled at, I just hope that for the future the deer will probably not nibble as much on the fruit trees, just because they have enough of other stuff to nibble on. Just providing abundance and thereby not having to stay in this space of scarcity. Great concept, you should try it. Here we've got some small ones. Those are cherries, little cherries I got from a friend. Yeah, you always have those small annoyances, like here maybe you see, the water tank was pushed out of the earth again, I'll have to install it again. Here the rain gutter is not yet perfect, and actually I have to get it done pretty quickly now. But that happens, and overall this is a beautiful space. What you see here, well, I hope you see it, is a heap of basically branches and cuttings, and it's similar to the idea of the deadwood hedge, the benjeshecke. It's just providing a space for small creatures, and here next to the garden it's mainly for hedgehogs, because snails tend to be a problem in gardens, and the hedgehog loves to eat them. What I did here last year is just dump some of the grass I cut as mulch, and I already started planting some, this is aronia here, and here sea buckthorn, and some more will come. But let's take a look what we have down there underneath. Okay, here we've got some round ones, but underneath the soil was protected. It was a bit too dense, I guess. So you should always try and also leave some space for air. So not perfect, but it's still good. Here the sea buckthorn. This year I started also cutting it. You should cut it back regularly. It only grows its fruits on I think it's the 2-year-old parts. So if you don't cut it regularly, you won't have any harvest in the long term, and it'll also become wooden, too big, and not produce. So I'll leave you there. I'll take a seat here and enjoy the sun a bit. Hope you're having a nice time as well. Enjoy spring.